誠邀大家多多支持，加入我嘅收費頻道 Buy Me a Coffee， 請我飲咖啡啦。你可以成為會員或者係成為支持者都得。咁嗰條連結呢，我就會貼喺下邊。咁希望大家多多支持，多謝晒。
Good morning. You're going on the record at 9:38 a.m. Eastern Daylight Time on August 10th, 2022. Please note that the microphones are sensitive and may pick up whispering and private conversations. Please mute your phones at this time. Audio and video recording will continue to take place unless all parties agree to go off the record. This is Media Unit 1 of the video recorded deposition of Donald J. Trump taken by counsel in the matter of financial statements investigation for the state of New York, Office of Attorney General. The location of the deposition is 28 Liberty Street, New York, New York. My name is Zeph Koda, representing Veritex, and I am the videographer. The court reporter is Linda Greenstein from the firm Veritex. I am not authorized to administer an oath. I am not related to any party in this action, nor am I financially interested in the outcome. Counsel and all present, including those remotely, have been noted for the record. Will the court reporter please swear in the witness, and then counsel may proceed.
Do you swear or affirm that the testimony you are about to give is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do.
Thank you.
Good morning, Mr. Trump. My name is Letitia James, and I'm the Attorney General of the great state of New York. Before we begin, if everyone please silence their cell phones, we would appreciate that. I wanted to begin with some preliminary rules, some ground rules,
Sure.
if you don't mind, and then I'm going to turn it over to Kevin Wallace, who will conduct this examination. Mr. Trump, you've testified under oath many times. Is that correct?
Yes.
And so I take it you are familiar with the ground rules on for how testimony proceeds. Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay. So I'll skip that part of the introduction. Is that okay?
Sure.
Okay. And are you okay right
I am.
now? Okay. Good. What I will do is explain some differences between the procedures in a civil deposition and the testimony we are taking today, because this is an investigatory proceeding. You do not have a right to have an attorney with you in this investigation, but I have agreed that your attorney will be present today. However, this examination is not the same as a deposition in ordinary civil litigation, and your attorney's role will be limited to consultation with you in order to give you legal advice regarding privileged matters, if any, or your right not to incriminate yourself. Notwithstanding any objection by your attorneys, you are still required to respond to any questions unless your attorney specifically directs you not to answer. Anything you say in this examination may be used in a civil proceeding, and that can include a civil enforcement proceeding or a criminal action. Do you understand that?
I think.
Is that a yes?
I don't know what I did wrong, but the answer is yes, I do understand.
Thank you. You have the right to refuse to answer any question if a truthful answer to the question would tend to incriminate you. Do you understand that?
Yes.
Okay. And any willful misstatement by you may constitute perjury. Do you understand that, sir?
Yes.
Okay. Finally, this investigation is confidential. We request that you not discuss this matter, your testimony here today, and any documents that you have produced or may produce in connection with today's testimony with anyone other than your attorneys. Do you understand that, sir?
No. When you say confidential, we're not allowed to talk about this to the press, or?
Correct.
I believe what she
Sorry.
means is what happened in this room, the details of what happened in this room.
Okay.
Obviously,
Okay with me.
The fact that it happened, yes, but not the details.
Okay.
Neither you nor anyone acting on your behalf has the right to obtain a copy of the transcript of your testimony here today from the reporter. And neither you nor Veritex are permitted to release copies of the transcript to anyone other than representatives of this office, the Office of the Attorney General. Extensive note-taking or any attempt to create a transcript of the proceedings here by you or your attorneys is not authorized and will not be permitted. Are you taking any medication or drugs of any kind that make it difficult for you to understand or answer any of the questions today, sir?
An aspirin.
And are you feeling okay today?
Yes.
And are you sick today?
No.
Okay. And do you have any conditions that could prevent you from giving full, complete, and truthful answers to any questions today?
No.
And is there any other reason why you cannot give full, complete, and accurate testimony here today?
Well, you have to, I'll be doing it.
Yes.
No.
No, other than what I'm saying.
Okay. I'm not going to turn it over to Kevin Wallace. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
呢位就係納塔西詹士，紐約州嘅首席檢控官。
Good morning, Mr. Trump.
Good morning.
As the Attorney General mentioned, my name is Kevin Wallace. Sitting next to me is Alex Finkelstein from our office. And sitting next to him is Samantha Stern, who's a paralegal with our office. They're going to be assisting me during the day today. Mr. Trump, I understand you have a statement that you wanted to read into the record.
Yes.
Would you please feel free to start at any
Thank
time?
you very much. This is the greatest witch hunt in the history of our country. There has never been another president or perhaps even another politician who has been persecuted, harassed, and in every other way unfairly treated like President Donald J. Trump. What Letitia James has tried to do the last number of years is a disgrace to the legal system, an affront to the New York State taxpayers, and a violation of the solemn rights and protections afforded by the United States Constitution. She developed a political platform and made a career out of maliciously attacking me and my business before she even understood or was elected or reviewed one of the millions of pages of documents we willingly produced. We willingly produced these documents. James proclaimed that she, quote, looks forward to going into the office of Attorney General every day suing me and then going home. This is during her campaign. She announced that she was obsessed with, quote, taking me on, and that her eyes were set on Trump Tower, quote, Trump Tower. She even assured her supporters as an election promise very strongly that, quote, we're going to definitely sue him. Before she even knew anything about me, we're going to be a real pain in his ass. He's going to know my name personally. And she claimed I was on an illegitimate, and that it was an illegitimate president. Quote, illegitimate president. In her AG speech, she promised to, quote, shine a bright light into every dark corner of Trump's real estate holdings. Shortly thereafter, she vowed to, quote, use every area of the law to investigate President Trump and his business transactions and that of his family as well. She knows nothing about us. This is when she knew absolutely nothing about us. It was very unfair. This whole thing is very unfair. As a pretense for commencing her bogus investigation, Letitia James relied on the testimony of Michael Cohen, a convicted felon and liar. The Southern District of New York astutely described Cohen as a man who, quote, repeatedly used his power and influence for deceptive ends by engaging in, quote, extensive, deliberate, and serious criminal conduct consistent with a, quote, pattern of deception that permeated his professional life. This was in a long, many-page statement by him. It only gets worse. This is the witness, a stone-cold loser, a real loser, that she used to justify her obsessive work, her obsessive investigation of me, even though he got in civil and criminal trouble for representing himself on a taxi cab company that he had and other things, and also others as a lawyer. I once asked, if you're innocent, why are you taking the Fifth Amendment? I was asking that question. Now I know the answer to that question. When your family, your company, and all the people in your orbit have become the targets of an unfounded, politically motivated witch hunt, supported by lawyers, prosecutors, and even the fake news media, you really have no choice. We cannot permit a renegade and out-of-control prosecutor to use this investigation as a means of advancing her political career. New York deserves better, and this country deserves better. Being a prosecutor is a very important thing. This is a vindictive and self-serving fishing expedition, the likes of which this country has perhaps never seen before. If there was any question in my mind, the raid on my home 2 days ago, Mar-a-Lago, Palm Beach, Florida, by the FBI, just 2 days prior to this deposition, think of it, wiped out any of that uncertainty. I have absolutely no choice because the current administration and many prosecutors in this country have lost all moral and ethical bounds of decency. Anyone in my position not taking the Fifth Amendment would be a fool, an absolute fool. One statement or answer that is ever so slightly off, just ever so slightly, by accident, by mistake, such as it was a sunny, beautiful day when actually it was slightly overcast, would be met by law enforcement at a level seldom seen in this country, because I've experienced it. The United States Constitution exists for this very purpose, and I will utilize it to the fullest extent and defend myself against this malicious attack by this administration, this Attorney General's office, and all other attacks on my family, my business, and our country. Accordingly, under the advice of my counsel and for all of the above reasons, I respectfully decline to answer the questions under the rights and privileges afforded to every citizen under the United States Constitution. This will be my answer to any further questions.
美國第五修正案谷歌翻譯本，除非根據大陪審團的報告或起訴書，否則不得要求任何人為死罪或其他臭名昭著的罪行負責，但發生在陸軍和海軍或民兵中的案件除外。戰爭或公共危機，任何人也不得因同一罪行而兩次處於生命或肢體處於危險之中，不得在任何刑事案件中被迫作對自己不利的證人，未經正當法律程序不得被剝奪生命、自由或財產，未經公正補償，不得徵用私有財產供公用。
Include among the rights and privileges afforded every citizen under the United States Constitution, does that include the Fifth Amendment right to avoid incrimination?
Yes.
So your counsel?
Yes.
Okay. I'm going to move on to my questioning. So Ms. Trump, I take it you are not going to answer any questions about your preparation today with your counsel. Is that correct?
Should I say this, or should I respond to that?
Let's read that.
For all of the reasons provided in my answer, which is incorporated herein in its entirety, I decline to answer the question.
Mr. Trump, the focus of our investigation, and what we are primarily going to cover today, involves the presentation of your statements of financial condition between 2011 and the present. I take it you are generally familiar with those statements. Is that correct?
For all of the reasons provided in my answer, which is incorporated herein in its entirety, I decline to answer the question.
Did you review any of those statements from the period 2011 to 2021 during your preparation for today's testimony?
For all of the reasons provided in my answer, which is incorporated herein, in its entirety, I decline to answer the question.
Counsel, I think we can all stipulate that if he says same answer, we will all understand it to be the same invocation.
That's correct.
To speed things up.
No
Okay.
problem.
With that note, sir, you are currently the president of the Trump Organization. Is that correct?
Same answer.
And when I refer to the Trump Organization, is it accurate to describe that as the trade name for an umbrella organization that holds assets beneficially owned by you?
Same answer.
Is it fair to say that the Trump Organization sits on top of several hundred different legal entities?
Same answer.
Are the assets of the Trump Organization currently held in a revocable trust?
Same answer.
Is that revocable trust the Donald J. Trump Revocable Trust dated April 7, 2014?
Same answer.
And you are the donor of the assets in that trust, is that correct?
Same answer.
And you are the sole beneficiary of the assets in that trust, is that correct?
Same answer.
Why did you form that trust in April 2014?
Same answer.
Who were the trustees when the trust was first founded?
Same answer.
At some point, Alan Weisselberg and your son, Don Jr., were the trustees, is that correct?
Same answer.
Did you ever consider retaining independent trustees to oversee the trust?
Same answer.
At present, your son, Don Jr., is the sole trustee, is that correct?
Same answer.
In preparing the 2011 Statement of Financial Conditions, Alan Weisselberg and Jeff McConney worked at your direction and followed your instructions and inflated asset valuations on the Statement of Financial Conditions by employing false or misleading assumptions. Is that correct?
Same answer.
Samantha has put up on the screen a document that bears the production number Mazars NYAG 001-62291. Do you recognize the form of this document?
Same answer.
This is the supporting data spreadsheet for the 2020 Statement of Financial Condition. Is that correct?
Same answer.
This spreadsheet was used to calculate the valuations contained in the Statement of Financial Condition. Is that correct?
Same answer.
You reviewed and approved the valuations and valuation methods contained in this document before it was finalized. Is that correct?
Same answer.
So the 2020 Statement of Financial Condition contained false and misleading valuations and statements. Is that correct?
Same answer.
The 2021 Statement of Financial Condition contained false and misleading valuations and statements. Is that correct?
Same answer.
You knew at the time it was finalized that the 2021 Statement of Financial Condition contained false and misleading statements. Is that correct?
Same answer.
You knew at the time the valuation was submitted to the IRS that the Seven Springs appraisal incorporated intentionally false assumptions about the development timeline for the site. Is that correct?
Same answer.
Mr. Trump, going back to your Doral loan, is it correct that through the use of the inflated Statement of Financial Condition to obtain a favorable interest rate, that you were able to save approximately 6% per annum on interest payments owing on your $125 million in loans from Deutsche Bank?
Same answer.
Next question is about apartments held by your daughter at 502 Park Avenue. Do you know if the below market rent that she had on her rental apartments at 502 Park Avenue were provided in exchange for work performed as part of her responsibilities at the Trump Organization?
Same answer.
Do you know if the below market purchase options that you provided your daughter on 502 Park Avenue apartments was made in exchange for work performed as part of her job at the Trump Organization?
Same answer.
所以呢啲咁嘅法律訴訟咧，就簡直係嘥晒納稅人啲錢、時間同埋精神嚇。我哋其實咧對一個有錢佬變成一個政客，佢嘅財務狀況，我哋其實都冇咩興趣嚇。好多有錢佬啊，佢哋都揾嗰啲政策嘅漏洞咧去逃稅㗎啦，去慳翻啲稅㗎啦。咁我哋每年報稅都係咁啊，要揾 有冇機會可以慳省啲稅啊嘛？呢個係好自然嘅事嚟㗎啦，咁有乜出奇啫？咁其實我哋更加有興趣嘅就係想知道咧，由一啲政客咧，由佢哋從政點樣變成一個有錢佬啊！我哋更加想知道呢啲嘢啊嘛，呢啲嘢先係需要調查啊嘛。唔知道幾時會唔會有人去調查咧？咁我哋會唔會好幾時就會睇到佢哋上庭作供咧？咁樣仲喺度等緊。